Let's look at topic 8.3, triangles. The sum of any two sides must be greater than the third side for a triangle to be formed. If they give me a triangle like the one pictured, triangle of course has three sides. I've labeled one side 7, the other side 11, and then we have a missing side x. To find the missing side, you're first going to add the two given sides together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 7 plus 11, and I get 18. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take those same two sides and you're going to subtract them. Whatever the bigger number is, minus the smaller number. And 11 minus 7 is 4. Therefore, I now know that x has to be between 4 and 18. X has to be greater than 4, and we could write it a couple different ways. We could actually say x has to be greater than 4, and x also has to be less than 18. Or we could also put it 4, we could write it this way, and 18. Which basically says x has to be between 4 and 18. So any number between those would create a triangle. Now let's look at the blue triangle. I've labeled that with sides 10, 8, and 20. My question is this a triangle? If these were the measurements of the sides, would this form a triangle? The way to tell if this forms a triangle is you pick any two sides. Doesn't matter which two you want to start with. Let's say I'm going to start with 10 and I'm going to start with 20. And let's add those together. 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. That has to be greater than the third side that I didn't add together, which was 8. 30 is greater than 8. So far it's looking good. Next, I'm going to take 20. I'm going to add it to 8, and I get 28. And my other side that I just didn't add together, is 28 greater than 10? Yes, that works. I got to try one more pair of sides. I still have to add 10 plus 8, which is 18. Is that greater than 20? No, that does not work. And because that does not work, this is not true. This would not be a triangle. These three sides would not form a triangle. Again, in math, we love to use symbols, so instead of writing out the word triangle, I just write a triangle symbol. Next, we're going to look at the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So if you were given a triangle as such, and they gave you 2 of the angle measurements, you could find the third one. So knowing that one of the angles is 70 degrees, one of the angles is 60 degrees, and we're missing x, I would add 70 plus 60 together. 70 plus 60 is equal to 130. And then I would subtract that from 180. And I get 50 degrees. Therefore, x would be 50 degrees. Very simple. Now let's look at the next triangle, the green one. We have 3 angle measurements in there. And we know if we add them together, they're going to add up to 180. So we're going to have to add this angle, plus this angle, plus this angle. We have to remember now, are combining of like terms. So we basically need to take this, add it to this, and add it to this. Well, I notice this guy has an x and this guy has a 2x. So I'm going to add the x and the 2x together first, which gives me 3x. Then I'm going to add my two numbers together. I have 10 plus 50, which is 60. Plus 60 has to equal 180. Now I'm going to use my equation solving skills back from a while ago. In order to get the x by itself, I'm going to first undo the addition by subtracting 60 from both sides. Cross out my 60s, bring down the 3x, equals 120. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and x equals 120 divided by 3 is 40. So x would equal 40. Now, if they asked me for each of the angle measurements, I would now have to go back in and plug that in here and here. So 2x would now be 2 times 40, which is 80. So that would be one measurement. And x plus 10, when I replace x with 40, 40 plus 10 would be 50. And then, of course, the other angle we know is already 50. And that's it. It's that simple.